In this video, I want to go over screwdrivers and how to use them. So let's jump right in, and I want to talk about just a few different types. There's only two major different types of screwdrivers, and those are the Phillips, which as you can see, some people know it as the cross tip, but we're going to call it a Phillips because that's the correct name, and then the flat tip, and you can see it's just flat. Now, both of these screwdrivers are very popular. Some are more popular in electrical, things like that. Sizes do matter. Now I want to point out these are both Phillips heads. One is super massive, one is kind of mid-size, okay? The reason we do this is because there's actually different types of screws and different types of bolts that we're maybe trying to get onto. Probably not a bolt because these are screwdrivers. So if you take a look at this, you can see the head on this screw is probably about mid-size. This is a mid-size, so we're going to go ahead and put them together, and you can see that really nice fit that screwdriver has into that Phillips head. We want that every time. If I come here and I have this smaller one, and I take that same screwdriver, and I go ahead and I try to get it in there, it's going to be a lot tighter. This one doesn't actually fit that bad, but I might be better off finding a smaller screwdriver, smaller Phillips head like this. Just make sure when you grab a screwdriver, it's not too big for that screw. I mean, if you took this massive screwdriver and tried to use it on this little screw, it'll barely even grab. So just make sure you're using the right stuff. Like I said, there's a couple other different types of screwdrivers I want to point out. Notice the ones that I've been using. One is black with the shank here is uncoated, while these red ones have a coated shank on them. So these ones are for when you're working with electrical. Now, the reason that the shank is covered is that way if you touch the side of a box or you touch a wire or something like that, you're not going to accidentally get shocked. Some of these you got to really watch out. The size here is actually used on a specific item. So this one would be good for one of those DIN rail connectors, while it might not be good for actually landing wires onto a timer or a contactor. So make sure that you're using the right screwdriver and it fits really nice. All right, now there are some other little screwdrivers you might see. We've got some like little tiny stuff in here, and these are just obviously for really tiny screws. Otherwise, that's all we have for screwdrivers. Oh yeah, and flat tip screwdrivers, they're not pry bars. Don't use them like that.